Hello everyone, this is my final project presentation for map design and GIS at Northern Arizona University. My project today is focused on the Colorado River Basin. First up, we're going to look at the change detection for Lake Powell and Lake Mead. That's going to be on the left over here. And this is going to be NNDWI, which shows a difference in the amount of water at the surface over time. So this is a change between 1995 and 2025, and this is Lake Powell. So throughout the lake, these darker greens are going to show the greatest changes in the water. So a lot of water loss kind of around the lake here, especially here and here. Red shows increases, so there's some increases, and then yellow and light green is essentially no change. But red, there is some red, but majority dark green. So we've seen a lot of water loss from Powell, as well as Lake Mead. So similar problem here. We're also looking at the same change detection. A lot of water loss here and here. Essentially so much green all around the perimeter of Mead actually has seen green. And currently the capacity, Lake Mead and Lake Powell both only have about 50% capacity right now, and they are by far the two largest water reservoirs in the Colorado River Basin. So they were for sure my motivation behind this project. And of course, the city of Las Vegas, right next door, right here, seen rapid growth just in these past 30 years. All this red actually is from development of the city of Las Vegas, which, as we see, expanded substantially. It probably doubled or tripled its population in that time. And so, yeah, huge growth here in this city, which probably contributed quite a bit to the shrinkage of Lake Mead here. All right, now we're going to look at the groundwater depths. Not too much here, actually. Most of it is concentrated here and near the border between Arizona and Vegas, but fortunately not too much of a loss here. Reds indicate loss. Deeper water tables from groundwater, and blue is higher. But not too much of an issue right now for the basin, but this is going to vary, of course, with drought years. And but there is a problem in California because they rely heavily on groundwater. So hopefully, if the basin stays healthy, we won't have to deplete our groundwater reserves. But this might become an issue in the future if we have to start moving towards more groundwater if we use too much of our surface water from Powell and Mead. All right, next we're going to look at temperature anomalies. So this is like more climate change related stuff. I went back to 2000 because that's as far as I could go. We can see a lot of blues here, which are colder temperatures. Red is warmer. And we looked at 2024 because that was historically a really hot year, really warm. And in the west side here, it was a lot of reds here, especially California, Arizona. So there were some parts that were cooler, but overall the basin was a lot warmer. And this is something we're going to see a lot. Continuing trend here with as the climate changes towards warmer temperatures. And we have a similar thing I want to show relating to climate change is evapotranspiration. So evapotranspiration, if you don't know, is the sum of the evaporation and transpiration from plants. So it's really a loss of transfer of water from surface to the atmosphere. And so in 2021, there wasn't as much of that transfer because there wasn't as much rainfall, less precipitation. So there's less evapotranspiration in red, so less. And then in 2023 was a wet year, so you expect more evapotranspiration, which is we see here. There's a lot more blues, less reds, and that's because, as we saw, more precipitation. And this is going to be changing a lot heavily from drought years, which will become more frequent with climate change and with temperature, because with higher temperatures you got more evaporation and transpiration. So with higher temperatures and drought, evapotranspiration is certainly something we want to look at when it comes to changes in the lake coverage for Mead and Powell and around the entire Colorado River Basin. All right, so the next thing I want to look at is population change. So obviously people use water. So where are the people going? Well, a lot of the people are going to these western states. The West has grown more than the East Coast for sure, especially Nevada, Utah, and Colorado, some of the fastest growing states in the nation. So much of the Colorado River Basin has shown rapid growth the past few decades, and this has led to the shrinkage of some reservoirs there, especially Mead and Powell. So certainly something we should be considering is our water use. And I've had the population change for LA, Phoenix, and Vegas. Phoenix and Vegas, turns out, grew at the fastest rate, but LA kind of had a little bit of a head start with a much higher population. But Phoenix and Vegas started from almost zero to over a million, even at such rapid growth. And the last thing I want to show these charts in temperature. You can see LA, Phoenix, pretty substantial, over a degree Celsius of growth. Vegas, like a couple tenths, for some reason not as substantial. But as we saw in these graphs, like there's definitely Vegas is definitely warming. And the last map we had was for world temperature. This is the difference from the mean, and so we are about a little over 1 degree C from the global average temperature above normal. So, yep. So, of course, climate change and human populations, us using water, are going to be the two biggest contributors to the shrinkage of the Colorado River Basin. Thank you.